Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I do hope you've been doing well. You're doing well wherever you are, keeping safe, staying at home if you have to, and excited about the continuation of this episode. I call it an episode because it is one, like, what else are we gonna call it? So today we are continuing from where we left last time, but before then, let me hold up right there. Hold up. I need to tell you something. Today I have been a very busy bee. I have done 2.5 hours of yoga.
So just feel the warmth you've generated. A little bit of energy for you.
Also had 1 hour 40 minutes session with my therapist. Oh yeah. Before, no. Do not go that way. So it's about, because like once you start opening up about certain topics, you need someone to talk to reassure you that things are still okay. So yes, I've had 1 hour 40 minutes. So she's still there, she's still there. She's gonna be there for me because I'm sure I will be needing these sessions over and over to get over with. But we are doing a continuation. That means we're going to move from the countryside today, so stay tuned. Let me grab a glass of water. Yeah, so by now you already know the scenario, you already know what happened in the countryside, but for those of you who don't know, instead of sending you back right away to watch the previous video, I'm gonna just give you a recap so that you catch up, and then when you find your time, you can still go back to the video and catch up with the rest of us. So we left last time where my uncle kept was raping me over and over again, and so today we are still in the same setup, the upcountry setup, being in the upcountry. But we're gonna just look away for a moment from that bad scenario and then look at some of the positive things that happened. Number one, like being with my grandmother there, all the love she showered my grandfather and the rest of the family. So my grandmother was a very hardworking woman. Like, she still is a very hardworking woman. She still does things for herself at her age now. And the first thing I do when I fly home is, go see my grandmother. So here I was living with her, getting all the attention. Even though the bad things were happening, her comfort, her being there for me, and her, just treating me like that one special child that she had was, turning things around for me a little bit. So one of the things that she did was being a midwife. She was a midwife. That courageous. I can't do that. Not even now. I can't. Sorry. I'm running. Let me call the neighbors. Hold up. Don't push anything. Let me be right back with the neighbors. I can. What are you doing? Pushing? Don't push. Anyway, so my grandmother was a midwife, and I remember this one time we went to she got a call. What do you mean she got a call? No calls were there then. Those days it was just like they sent a boy to come and call her and say that someone is giving birth. So I wasn't going to be left home. I was like, I'm coming with you. I don't care. No shoes there. And you just ran after her. So I went with her. And because when we got there were other women already trying to just like see what's going on, not even trying to help her, just peeping to see what's going on. So I couldn't find any place to see. And even though we were told, kids go wait outside, go and play, I needed to see what was going on, and I wanted to see what was happening there. So I went by the window where the other kids were standing and peeped. And oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and ladies. I said ladies and ladies because this is a ladies issue. I had to make sure you had that part. It is a scenario that I probably don't want to see again. It is scary. It is, no. Maybe because I was a child, I freaked out more than I should have. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but let me tell you one thing, that is not easy. The woman was screaming. So anyway, that is one of the things we did together. Now we didn't do together. She did and I followed her. So let me not take her. I didn't help that woman in delivering or anything. I was just there to see what was going on. So other than that, she was also a very committed Christian. So she used to go to church. I used to follow her to church every Sunday. And then she was, of course, a wife. And my grandfather was, may his soul rest in peace, he was, you know, like when he coughs, or when, like, everyone used to go like, okay, what did he say? He was that kind of man. He'd be like, yes. I mean, you know what I mean. My grandfather was so strict. Oh my God. Kids would come to, he knew all the kids who were from our compound, because like I said before, we were very many in the homestead, because there was this house, all houses together. There were so many kids. So their kids used to come from outside to play with us. Let me tell you, my grandfather used to know that those are outsiders. He used to come out and go, who are these people? Then the kids would be like, we would also run after them, you know, because you're scared. He was a good man. I loved him. He used to treat me so good. He used to give me a lot of gifts every time. It was like we came across each other, because it was not like, hey, good morning, what's up, every time. He had his own house where he slept and where he displayed all his stuff, like his harvest. Well, not all, he would take the longest of them all and put it against it. I love that. And so anyway, I was not having a bad time other than this bad episode that happened. But then now there came the time that I had to go back to the city, go back to my mom's place, or my mom's place rather. And this was the end of me here. This was the end of me up country. There was nothing like a farewell party like we do nowadays when someone is moving. It was just like, all right, see ya. But I must say I was sad and excited at the same time. Excited because I was going away from this monster. Excited because I was also going to live in the city where there are buses and televisions and yeah, you know. But I was also sad that I was going to go away from the friends I have made here, my grandmother, my grandfather, the village life and everything. But of course I knew I would come back to visit. You know, I knew I would come back to visit. And so I went back to the city, and guys, I'm not joking, I'm not kidding right now, you guys. I'm not, in fact, let me say it properly. I'm not kidding when I say that this school that I was going to join, this new school that my mom was taking me, everybody, every one of them wore shoes. Did you hear what I said? The reason I'm actually opposed on that was because up country where I went to school, you didn't have to wear shoes. So I didn't wear any shoes. You didn't have to wear complete uniform. So I didn't wear complete. It was just like, whatever. I went to school without shoes. Yeah, you got it. I went to school barefoot because it felt good. Well, it didn't feel good. I was just living life, you know. I didn't think shoes mattered at that time. So in this school, the first thing I noticed when I went for my first interview so that they could accept me in the school was that everybody was wearing boys were looking so, there was no single boy or girl with a torn uniform, not even one, even a whole. Was my mom like putting me through some sort of like jail where, you know? But anyway, it didn't take much time for me to get used to being around different people. And hold up right there, I had to speak in English too. Where was I going to get all that English to speak to these kids? Where? Oh my god, the only English I probably knew was yes, yeah. Well, I spoke English, but a little, but I was scared. I didn't want to express myself in English. I didn't want to have to struggle to express myself in English, you know. But I made it, and I coped, and I aced through the tests. I got to top 5 in class that time, before I started knowing myself. And then I started becoming top 7, then top 10, and then top 11, and then top 12, and then top 13, and finally top 14. It's what it is. I was top 14 by the time I left that school, but I tried my best. Hey, it's not like I didn't try my best. I just discovered myself, you know, like. And so life was good because I was growing up with my sister, my younger sister. I had that pretty little thing. She was chubby and so cute to play with. She was 7 years younger than me, and my mom still had to go to work. We lived with the house help. Guys, the house manager, you guys, you know, like, she would, oof, I was like living life, my friends. It's not even a joke right here when I say we, or me, I was being taken care of by somebody. I was not being molested by this person. I was being, you know, I didn't let her wash my body, you know, because I was a bit shy from the fact that I had been already, you know, abused, and someone had already invaded my private parts, and you know, so I just asked her to take water. That time we had to take, you had to bring your own water in a basin to the shower area. But yeah, so we grew up, like I said, in a normal setup. My school was okay. I studied in that school until I completed my, just for 2 more years. No, wait, I joined in standard 4, so 4 years more. And that was the end of me in primary school. In between, there were things that were happening here and there, like my, you know, I was beaten a lot by I was just a naughty person, so So guys, after my primary school, I went on to high school, and oh my god, guys, I went to a boarding school. Like, hold on, right? Like, this girl is going places. It's a boarding school, you know. This is like you leave home, like you bring your box. What do we call it? A box? Yeah, it was a box, suitcase, but call it a box. It was actually a box. You bring your suitcase. It was not a suitcase. I saw it was a metallic box. So I brought my metallic box. Let me just put it that way. I brought my metallic box to high school with my own things. I had, like, you know, oh my god, I was feeling, and I got some pocket money too. But of course, high school is where you start discovering yourself even more. Oh my god, what's that growing over there? What's going on with me? Like, why am I suddenly sweating so hard? What's going on? And if I tell you that I had a roll-on, I'd be lying to you. You know, like a deodorant. Guys, nah, deodorant was, no, I don't even remember owning one. Maybe I didn't. We had one rich girl in school, she had a deodorant. Geraldine. Of course, we wouldn't share, but I was like, it's okay to sweat, it's natural, you know. But so high school was also easy for me, and there was no hardship. The only difference was that my high school was really, really far away. So my mom wasn't able to come visit me every time there was a visiting day. But luckily my cousin and the wife or his wife were teachers in the same school, so they cooked for me some nice food. Yeah, so I never really even bothered to push my mom to come in, for visiting days. But yeah, high school, I'm just gonna try and go fast a bit. So high school was done, and then college, and I started doing, actually it was during when I was doing some of the courses after high school that trying to remember that I met this I thought that, what am I saying? Wait. So after my courses in college, I decided I was going to be a community health worker. That time I didn't even know what that meant, but it was for people living with HIV and AIDS. We would go to their houses, refer them to hospitals, teach their family members on how to look after them and stuff like that. So that's what I was doing for some time. It wasn't well paying, but it was okay. It kept me alive, and it sustained my daily needs those days, which were eating fries and sausage with a lot of chili sauce. I'm just kidding. But yeah, honestly though, I loved I had that daily, and I was still very skinny. I don't know what happened to me now. When I grew up. So I started doing that at that point, and it's then that I met my first boyfriend. Guy was good. Guy was perfect. Guy was everything. But Guy had temper. And Guy and me couldn't be, because Guy would yell and I didn't like yelling. So we had differences, and eventually we didn't end up together. We separated, or we broke up. Separated. That separated is such a big word. And then, guys, ladies and gentlemen, that is where I met the father of my kids. At first, I'll tell you what, by this time I had already started drinking alcohol. It was those after college things, and being cool, having your own job and everything. So I started drinking alcohol. I mean, it's not like started drinking alcohol. No, I was drinking like with the other guy. I was partying like at a teenage. Was I a teenager then? No, wait, I wasn't even teenage. I was 20 something. So yeah, I was partying with other people. And I met now that guy, the father of my kids. He was a singer, guys. I looked at him like this, playing the guitar. Looked at my friends, went to the mirror and went like anyway, so we ended up together, and this was the beginning of my new dramatic chapter in life. When I say dramatic, I mean dramatic. Oh my God, we would fight like crazy, and we would fight. I'm telling you, fight like... I'm gonna just tell you now, before I end this particular story for today, of the first fight we had, and then I'm going to come and continue next time. We will start from there. So the first fight we had, or maybe it wasn't the first fight, maybe it was one of the fights that I remember. Fights that I remember we had. So he came, we were staying in some, like he was performing in a hotel, a certain hotel in Mombasa, and I was working in a different hotel. So when I finished or completed, or at the end of my shift, I would probably go join him, have a few drinks, and we would go back to his house or whatever. So I love the way he played the guitar. I love the way he presented himself. He was so cute. But the first fight we had was, we had come back from the bar, and we were leaving the bar. So one guy said something to me. I didn't even know him. And when we got home, this guy, oh my God, it's like a demon. He started hitting me. He removed his belt and beat me with it. Now, the things I had encountered in my life growing up, and I've skipped a few of them because I will come back to those afterwards, because I need to connect everything together to be able to narrate everything smoothly. But imagine, he beat me up like a child with a belt, leather belt. I know most of you will be like, why didn't you leave? I don't know, guys. That particular time I thought this was the way people get punished for doing something. I remember I got punished for touching up the house, for getting raped. So I thought episodes were happening. I mean, I thought this was life. You do something, you get punished. So I didn't do anything about it. I cried, and then he said, look what you made me do. Look what you made me do. You should never ever do something like that again. You understand me? So we went back together, and then I said, today I'm gonna just give you a taste of what was, and then I come back and narrate the rest of the stories, the rest of the episodes. I remember I actually probably need to write them down somewhere. But until then, thank you so much for watching, subscribing, and being part of this journey. Thank you for your time, making the time to to leave a comment and share this video as well. Until next time, I will see you. Take care wherever you are, and be nice.